It's an all-out 30-minute Ironwoman war, and it is going to be reviewed here tonight on Ring Respect Radio as we're talking about Island Pro Wrestling's Final Frost. Yes, that means that it is Thursday night. We are the Videos Bros, and boom, just like that, it's party time with myself, Bobby Munson, and the man sitting beside me. He's the man with the angelic voice. He's Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, happy Thursday. How you doing, brother?
Woo, happy Thursday, Munson. I'm having a good time. I'm here on Ring Respect Radio as usual on every Thursday, and I'm glad to be here. We got another exciting review coming up. But you know, Munson, another thing I'm excited about is feels like Saskatchewan is healing from a long, cold, snowy winter. Man, I was just outside, and it is still light out at this time, Munson. Unbelievable. We're coming out of it. We got a nice spring and hopefully a real nice summer coming up.
Can't wait for it, Papa Smokes. You know that's going to be opportunities to be outside. I love looking out that window each and every week and noticing a little bit more of the sun light shining through. It's absolutely delightful. Glad to be here on Ring Respect Radio, as always, your Thursday night show for everything indie wrestling, wrestling history. Yes, we've got an indie wrestling review here for you tonight. And you know what? I'm also going to be giving you an opportunity to sit back and if you've ever had any curiosity about videography in pro wrestling, camera angles, different things like that, I've got 9 years experience. Papa Smokes also got a lot of experience behind him as well too. We're going to take a moment here on the show tonight to talk a little bit about that, but we will get to that eventually. Stay tuned for that later on in the show. We're going to go over to the chat right now, Papa Smokes, and we've got Zach Minger joining us as always on a Thursday night. Thank you, Zach. We've got Prairie Pro Wrestling. We're going to be talking about these guys in just a moment there. But thank you, Prairie Pro Wrestling, for stopping by. Brett Martinez, who's back in the house here on Thursday nights. And we got Basser in the house, of course. Bass Man is here saying hello, kids.
Yeah.
And as always, Thursday nights just aren't complete without our friend the Mangler in the house. Always a pleasure to see you on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And Sick Shirt Papa is the quote here. What are we rocking tonight here, Papa Smokes? Iron Maiden. Nice.
Oh, hell yeah. The baseball shirt. Classic from the 80s.
Yeah, perfect. Brett saying, I've been wanting to learn about wrestling show production. Well, guess what? We're going to give you a little bit of that later on. Stay tuned throughout the show, of course. Hello to Astrid joining us in the house. Happy to have you here, Astrid. Thank you for stopping by. And yes, Papa Smokes, we have got something to talk about, a little something called Prairie Pro Wrestling. Yes, we'll get to talking about IPW momentarily, but Prairie Pro Wrestling tickets are on sale for Saturday, April the 4th here in Saskatoon live. Yes, make sure to get your tickets to be able to be part of that show. I believe we're borderline sold out on the seats here, Papa Smokes. We're starting to rock a lot of the general admission tickets. You don't want to miss your chance to be part of this program. It is going to be fantastic. Can't wait to see the nation in a sold-out capacity. I don't doubt it for a second, Pop Smokes. It is going to be off the hook. Make sure to reach out to Prairie Pro Wrestling on social media, get your tickets. Pop Smokes, I'm excited, and I know you must be as well, too.
Very excited. Always anticipating the next PPW show. Doing some camera work, doing some production work, as we're going to discuss in a little bit here. But always love to see the boys, all the wrestlers, all the fans that we love, and have a great time at that. And Munson, we not only have one show this month, we have another little one coming up this month as well.
Yes, sir, we do. In fact, we've got that big partnership with the Saskatchewan Rush lacrosse team, and that means that you will get 2 PPW shows in April, because on Saturday, April the 18th, live at the SaskTel Center in Saskatoon. That's the big old arena here in Saskatoon. Yes, PPW is going to have not 1, not 2, but 3 matchups that are taking place in conjunction with the Saskatchewan Rush. Papa Smokes, how stoked are you for this massive opportunity?
Extremely stoked. And you used the right word, Munson. This is an opportunity for our small wrestling company to get a whole ton of eyeballs on our product, because in Canada and in Saskatchewan, we love hockey, we love football, but we also love lacrosse. And the Saskatchewan Rush are the big lacrosse team in this province. They have a huge following in town here, playing games every couple of weekends at the big arena, and they have partnered up with Prairie Pro Wrestling, invited us out to do some matches, and hell, we even got some drama at our last PPW show involving the mascots. There are two mascots for the Rush. Bruiser, the old one, the Bulldog, and there's a new one that's a Buffalo. What's his name, Munson?
I don't quite recall what his name is.
Bully or something like that. Anyway, though these two have heat with each other. So we're going to see some action even amongst the mascots in this match. But at any rate, some fun for the lacrosse fans, a great opportunity for us in the wrestling company, for all of our wrestlers to get some views and some eyes on them. This is going to be a great night. I'm going to enjoy the lacrosse game and the matches at halftime.
Yeah, you bet. And how about this? You want to learn more about what's going on with Prairie Pro Wrestling in the month of April? We encourage you to join myself, Papa Smokes, and our special guest, PPW Academy graduate, and the guy who is now on a 2-match winning streak, having beat Morris Waltz and El Assassino of all people. Soup Nasty going to be joining us on the show that night to talk about his career so far, training at the Academy, and also about what's coming up in the future here for Prairie Pro Wrestling in the month of April as well, too. Looking forward to having Soup on the show, Papa Smokes.
This is a great opportunity. This is going to be fun for us because we've interviewed quite a few of the talent for PPW Wrestling. Well, there's constantly new people coming up through the Prairie Pro Wrestling Academy training school. We get new blood coming in all the time. Soup Nasty, a fairly new addition to our roster through the training academy. So it'll be a real treat to talk to him, to maybe pick his brain a little bit about how his training's gone and how it's been transitioning into being a pro wrestler in front of crowds, in front of our famous Saskatoon audience.
Apparently, Benny has just tossed on his Soup Nasty soup can that he got at the last show.
Yeah.
I mean, those things sold very, very well. I mean, the fans really came to loving Soup Nasty, so it's going to be great to have him on the show to talk about that experience, getting in the ring and man, getting that big win. We'll talk about that in very, we'll talk about that a lot. It's a huge win that he picked up this early in his career, and it needs to be digested here with Soup on the show. So tune in for Thursday, April the 2nd to get that. But Papa Smokes, I think it's time everybody comes here and sits down and listens to a little bit about our friends from way on the other side of Canada from us, a little known island known as Prince Edward Island. It is Island Pro Wrestling. It is Final Frost. And before we even get started with the matches, Papa Smokes, how about giving the people who don't know a little bit of the lay of the land of PEI?
Well, I don't have too much to comment on that front this time, Munson, because this show was held at the same venue in the same city as we did last time. So it is in Charlottetown at the PEI Brewing Company, which has a capacity for wrestling for about 500 people. Look, it's a very nice venue. I think it's completely well suited to wrestling. It looks awesome on tape. And Munson, if we were to go there, they offer such interesting sounding beers as Iron Horse Brown and Sydney Street Red. I'd crack into either of those two babies for a try.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to try one of each when they got opportunities like that. You can't can't just try one, right? Like, I mean, that must be a rule.
Only one of each. Might be a long show.
Try one of each. I just said that's the trying part. The taste test in Pops. It's like having your appetizers before the even starting to get to the main course, right? Like then you got the salad course, and then maybe the fish course, and then the main course, and then you got dessert after that too. There's a whole lot of trying going on throughout the whole night.
And this is a whole brewing company, so I'm assuming they've got a full roster there 2 months, and I'm going to have to try them all. But for now that we're getting down to business, Munson, how about a little bit of that fine Saskatchewan beer there? We got a nice Pilsner cracked here. Must be Ring Respect Radio.
I love the sound of that Pilsner crack. That's none of that crappy Winnipeg brew that they love sucking back there at the WPW shows. At least that certain someone named Angus over there that loves cracking over those Blue Bomber beers. They cry away the tears. I mean, it's sorry, I said it. I don't know you're a fan, Pop Smoke, so I shouldn't throw too much shade. But Angus and I, it's a thing.
Hey man, it sounds like it is a thing, Munson. If he doesn't know about it, you're certainly putting it out there, and we'll see what happens. We got to
Yeah.
go down there still for a match, maybe for a card in the summertime. So
I
behave,
like it.
Munson. Behave for now, anyway.
I'll be on my best behavior, Pop Smokes. I promise. I've just put it in the chat though, so everybody knows. If you want to check out Island Pro Wrestling over on YouTube, this is a link directly to the show that we are talking about tonight. 6 matches on this particular card, Papa Smokes, and all generally were in that 20 to 30 minute range throughout this one. So
Yeah.
I was surprised 6. Usually you get some of these shows where you get a couple that sneak in there at the 10 to 15 level. These ones were all 20 minutes plus throughout the entire night. We start off with a tag team match. We got the team of AWOL in this one, Ryan McGrath and Pete LeBlanc taking on the team of Demonic and Famine. What an interesting match. They kept referring to on commentary how AWOL are one of the most seasoned tag teams over in the island area. You could tell they've got a lot of good chemistry together. How do we describe to people who haven't seen them before? Demonic and, again, the name, Demonic and Famine, sorry.
Famine.
Yeah, so they are kind of like the masked evil type characters, almost kind of gave me like the idea of the Kane vibes from back in the the early times of Kane coming out. It's the whole they can't be beat by regular means. You punch them, they stand there, they take it. I don't love it. I mean, I'm just gonna say I don't love it because I've seen it so much. I think that's the problem. And for me, it's like there's nothing wrong with either one of their abilities in the ring, but I'm not so sure I'm sold on the gimmick just yet. Maybe I'll change my mind after seeing it a little bit more. Maybe there's more to be seen of it. The commentator kept saying about what was it? Something about they broke the seal or whatever, and that's how we ended up. Or no, Demonic broke the seal, and that's how we got Famine.
Yeah.
And they kept saying this over and over again, and I'm like, I need more to that story. Like, what is the story there? Like, you're trying to tell me something, but I'm not sure I've been included in that conversation yet. So I wasn't sure what to think or what to make of these two guys. And then the ending kind of comes out of nowhere when all of a sudden Demonic just points across the ring, and you get Famine running across and starts biting McGrath in the neck like some sort of zombie attack or whatever. And the match gets called in a DQ after all that time. I was kind of shocked by the finish, to be honest. The match itself was fine. It was good. It wasn't it's far from my favorite match of the night, but it was still good. I'm still not sure about that gimmick, and that finish was a little bit, I don't know.
I definitely feel you. For one thing, this was the curtain jerking match, the very first one of the night, the bottom of the card, so to speak. So they put a tag team match on first. Okay, interesting choice. This was also a tag team match that lasted 18, 19 minutes, kind of. Just the match alone with entrances and stuff. It was almost 24 minutes. Kind of seems long to me for a first match, but whatever. I can also see the logic in getting some of these guys at the bottom of the card some quality time in the ring. You could see that Famine was probably the newest wrestler in this match to the business. He did quite fine. No shade being thrown at his abilities whatsoever. He did just fine. But this I think this was an attempt to get these guys in front of the crowd in a match with some length to it and just get them some reps, kind of thing. The heels, the evil heels working with AWOL needed some reps and needed some time, and AWOL could guide them through this match with their experience. And yeah, there was nothing fancy about this tag match. It was, and that's also fine with me. The fanciness is not needed in the booking or setting up of many matches, especially at the bottom of the card. The heels took over early in this match. They isolated one of the baby faces in the corner. They went full heel tactics on him for a while till there was a hot tag. Now the baby faces take over. They've got some fire. They're getting the crowd into it, but the heels take over again. And now the match slows down again, which is also fine, which is standard tag team wrestling. That's good. But it went on for a little bit without many interesting spots throughout the match. Then there was another hot tag, and the baby faces took over again until the heels decided to just attack with, as you described, Famine biting his opponent's neck, kind of like a zombie, just like he was trying to devour his flesh, kind of. And he had been doing this throughout the match. The ref had seen enough. He called the DQ. That works perfectly in wrestling psychology as well, but kind of just fell a little bit flat as a finish, in my opinion. But whatever. I'm good with this match. It kind of got the crowd going a little bit. It was long, but these guys got some reps in, so there you go. There's your first match. It's done. The crowd's getting warm. It fulfilled its purpose. I got no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, again, anything we say is just really nitpicks and stuff like that too. Like, we're not really throwing shade at pretty much all indie companies we talk to. We want you to succeed. We understand it. We know indie companies perfect, right? Like, and again, you're right. It's about getting those reps in, and that's clearly what there was a lot of here, and it held the show. It held the audience. So there's no harm, no foul, basically, in this one. One that would really get the audience going, because of course you got one of the biggest smack talkers in the entire island area. It's the PEI championship. Rick Owens, joined by Katie Lynn, issues an open challenge to anybody in the back that wants to take him on for his PEI championship, a championship that I believe they've said he's held now for a couple of years straight or something like that. Bob suppose it's been a very long reign, in fact.
I thought they said 170 some days or something, so maybe the better part of a year, but something like that.
Okay, yeah, it was a decent run with the belt anyway, but issuing an open challenge to anybody who wants to take it up. And of course, we get Zane Valentine, the man of 7,000 different nicknames, apparently, joined by Stormy Hale. Man, we can't say enough good things about this guy, Papa Spokes, between his in-ring work and his work on a mic, but also his work to just smack talk people throughout an entire matchup. Like, if the only way he's not talking is if he's just taken a big slug right to the face from his opponent, and that doesn't happen very often. So you get to hear Zane Valentine talking smack a lot, and he is good at it. Man, does he carry my attention throughout the entire matchup in this one. This ended up being very enjoyable between these two guys. I like this one quite a lot. Just going to pause right there before we go to you, Pops, folks. Hello to Mel Ball College joining us here tonight. Mel. Thank you, Mel, for being here. But yeah, your thoughts on this matchup, Pops, folks, that I rather enjoyed.
Oh, me also. And they had their PEI heavyweight championship match second on the card. Interesting also, but it also shows that they've got some plans for some other big matches later in this card. So these two veterans came out. And yeah, I also can't say enough praise about Zane Valentine, the ultimate male. Man, you already used the word work. This guy is a worker. He's awesome. And by worker, I'll explain this again. I don't mean just ring work. I mean working the crowd, working with the ref, working with his own valet, working with his opponent's valet. He talks. He works all the time, and he's so effective at it. And by that token, his ring work is not overly extravagant or anything like that. He's got a ton of good moves, but he's very understated in his ring work, and I appreciate that because his charisma and his personality far outbound anything that he could do in terms of moves to wow the crowd. He's constantly interacting with them, and the crowd is responding to this. We've seen this in our home company as well, PPW. There are some wrestlers who exude that charisma and that confidence to interact with the crowd the entire time. That connects with the crowd. If you're good at it, you can connect with the crowd as a babyface or as a heel. And in this match, we're not really sure. Zane Valentine was working as a babyface technically in this match, but of course, he's the asshole babyface. He's the arrogant babyface. He's still doing his heel stuff, but the fans are loving him for it because of who his opponent is. He's great. I've often said if a wrestler is extremely good at one side of the coin, as a heel, for example, quite probably he's going to be good at the other side as well because it is two sides of the same coin. Valentine, very, very effective. His charisma shows through at all times. So, man, what a treat to get to see him again. And from a couple months back, the first show that you and I reviewed from IPW, Zane Valentine was easily the standout wrestler on that card. Definitely one of the standouts on this card as well.
Definitely, yeah. We really enjoy his work. Enjoyed the matchup as well too, and enjoyed the fact that he actually gave us a shout out last time that we talked about him as well too, Papa Smoke. So again, if you happen to be watching, Zane, thank you. You know who is watching? Look at this right now. Boom!
Oh
Island Pro Wrestling in the house.
Hey
thank
guys,
you for being here, and thank you for the free content on YouTube as well too. Appreciate you being here as well too and supporting us. Thank you very much. But yeah.
Munson, can I add one more thing in that? As long as we have Island Pro Wrestling listening right now, wouldn't it be something if Papa Smokes didn't have to be the only ultimate male on this podcast? Maybe we could get a little more ultimate male on this podcast. You never know. Maybe he's listening. Maybe he'd like to come and talk to us. You never know. A guy can dream anyway.
Yeah, we could extend the invitation one of these days to get the ultimate male here. I mean, but nice dig at the same time, Pop Spokes. Really appreciate you, my friend. Yes, of course. All right, next match up on this card, we got Spike Estey taking on Matt Chevron in a dog color matchup, Papa Spokes. We got an Alberta boy on this one as well, too, right? And what was it that he comes out to? He comes out to from the independent Republic of Alberta. Oh, man. Talk about wanting to get your booze in on an audience. That's one way of doing it. IPW say you want Zane Valentine to come on. It could be arranged. All right. Yeah, with that would be a hell of a time. That would be a hell of a time.
Okay.
But yeah, let's make it happen for sure. 100% love to make that happen. But yeah, going to this dog collar matchup. Again, I can't get over the independent Republic of Alberta. Like, what a dickhead thing to say.
Awesome.
I mean, it was well done. This was a very, I mean, again, for the people who want to watch a fairly violent matchup that spills out to the floor, has a lot of use of the chain and everything like that. These guys put it to good use. A lot of color in this matchup in particular as well, too. Yeah, it was a bloody mess. That's for sure. There was a lot of color in this one. Yeah, they used it to great use. A couple of times that dog collar didn't quite want to stay on. That happened a couple times throughout this match. But hey, it's indie wrestling, right? Shit happens.
It's live wrestling.
Yeah. That's just how she be. But thoroughly enjoyable. Again, people love watching their bloodbaths. This is a bloodbath, so I highly recommend if you want to watch some blood, go check out this matchup. Your thoughts, Papa Smokes?
Yeah, third match on the card. They break out the dog collars. Okay, the crowd, get ready because here we go with a specialty match like this. Chevron, or the commentators told us that Chevron has been attacking Estey over the past few shows, so this is building up into a grudge match with the dog collars, of course. Chevron wraps a chain around his hand and starts heart punching Estey. Love to see the heart punch as a move brought back. I was just watching a Ox Baker match the other day, and wow, they sold that heart punch as such a scary move. And of course, they had talked about Estey's heart condition that he has coming into this match. So building a little bit of legitimate fear for the babyface in this match. Love that chain hand heart punching. That was pretty cool. Yeah, brawling into the crowd. There's some good interaction with your crowd. Give them an up close look, feel, and smell of the wrestlers as they come through the crowd. There was a great camera shot of Chevron choking Spike with the chain. There was a hanging with the chain over the top rope, which is
Yeah.
always one of my favorite spots. Reminds me of the old Dusty Rhodes versus superstar Billy Graham bull rope match where he hangs Graham over the top rope. Classic. And of course, as cameraman, that's always one of the best shots you can hope for. It's because it's right in front of you and just such a perfect shot to get. Ooh, love that one. There was tombstone pile drivers on chairs. The collar came off a few times, but eventually Estey hits a GTS, hits the pinfall in an impressive come from behind win. So begs the question, what happens to these two now? Is this going to settle the feud? Usually a specialty match like this will settle a feud. You got to wonder if Chevron has it buried in his mind that he's lost this feud. I don't know. I could see him coming back for some more jump from behind attacks. We'll see what happens in the future. We'll be watching.
Well, we know it firsthand from what we've seen here locally in our own hometown, Papa Smokes. Sometimes those feuds never want to be buried at all, kind of thing. They might haunt these guys till the end of their times, but we'll see where it goes from there. Up next, we got August Artois versus Ryan Shamel. And I know, Pop Smokes, you're really excited to talk about this one in particular. August Artois definitely left an impact on the two of us throughout this matchup. This was a nice, solid one-on-one encounter in this matchup here. I enjoyed myself too, but yeah, August Artois, you know, if in terms of people we weren't as familiar with, I would say massively one of the standouts of the night for me.
Very much so. And I'm not sure if we covered one of Artois' matches before on IPW,
Possibly.
but I'm familiar with his name a little bit from social media, I think, and I had been kind of curious about him. Wow, glad to see this match and really digest it because he's got something going on in the same vein that we talked about Zane Valentine and handed him some praise for the kind of
But fairly not everyone agrees. Yeah. Sharky doesn't agree anyway.
But Artois got that gift of gab, and he's got a charisma, not necessarily a positive leaning charisma, but a charisma nonetheless. He's really good on the mic. You gotta hand him the mic before his match because he's gonna rip on the crowd. I like the one thing he said was PEI stands for please exit immediately. Oh, nice. You could hear the grumbling and the groans from the crowd. It's a nice cheap pop just to burn on the home city of the home crowd there. And he established himself as an asshole heel right off the bat, a smartass and a real slick talker too. So he's got a cool presentation, really good heel aura. I was excited to get the physical part of this match going.
Yeah. And as Island Pro saying, he's real, he's raw, he's the international draw, he's August Artois.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Great job there. Love this one. Go check it out, people. Yeah, let's see here. Is August on this podcast? Are you guys just talking about? We're just talking about August. But again, I mean, there's always room for more. You know, we always love having guests on the show. IPW baby, Maddie Cat joining us here in the chat. Man. Thank you for being here. Happy to have it. We got a rocking crowd here tonight. Keep that awesome. Chat nice and active as we talk about this next matchup. And again, Papa Smokes, I'm about to talk about what I will say was my favorite, not by a whole lot, because the main event very close to this one as well too. We're going to talk a lot of praise for that, but this match in particular, Jason Boa taking on the Giant Orion for the IPW Heavyweight Championship match. And we have talked very highly about Giant Orion many times here on this show. He is great inside the ring. Jason Boa, I'm not as familiar with, but I was interested to see great physique on this guy. And what I love, and I told you before we went on the air, I really love about a guy like Giant Orion. He's big, but he will make it make sense, right? If you want to chop the big man down, you better take down those trunks. You better take down those legs, and Boa attacked those legs. He brought the Giant down to the mat, and then he tried to wrestle him with submissions, things that he could do to wear this Giant out. And this match was fantastic between these two guys. I really enjoyed every second of it. my favorite matchup of the night. Jason Boa comes up short to the Giant Orion, but in my opinion, what a fight. And Jason Boa looks fantastic in this one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Like $1 million right there.
Yes, very well said. This was the top match on the card, in my opinion. I love this. Like you said, we've seen Giant Orion in various promotions across Canada. He's excellent, and he's gotten better over the past few years. You know, we reviewed a match or two of his from that tournament in Alberta a few years ago. Do you remember that?
Okay. Yeah, I do.
That was good. That was one of my first times seeing him. We've seen him wrestle in Winnipeg a number of times. He's gotten better over the years. He's quite big. He does fit the status of giant, but he can also work a little more effectively than some of those big guys. And yet he gets the psychology of working as a giant and does it beautifully. Now, Jason Boa really, really stood out to me in this match. He's awesome. His presentation is excellent. He comes out like an MMA badass. He's got the physique. He looks, just like the comments said, like $1 million at least. Not 1 million Canadian, 1 million American.
That's USD, baby.
Oh, hell yeah. He enters with Lady Poison and comes in looking like a complete badass and fights that MMA style. The psychology and the layout of this match were just excellent, I thought. Just like you said, he's going to do that limb work. He's going to go for the legs of the giant, try and take out that vertical base, put him down on the mat where you can wrestle him and get those submissions on. Yes, this makes complete sense. This is the kind of strategy that a real wrestler and a real fighter would use, especially against an opponent that he's outweighed by like 80 pounds or more, right? There was some very, very cool spots in this match. There was one in particular that I liked where the Giant Orion got Boa up into the position where he was going to do a razor's edge, had him over and on his back, and Boa flips around into a rear naked choke. Man, did that look tight. That looked absolutely awesome. Here's another wrestling psychology spot that is perfect. You're not going to stand toe-to-toe with the giant. You're not going to be able to match the power and the strengths and the strikes of the giant. So you got to work him. You got to get him in close. You got to, oh, hell yeah. You got to get in close and get that chokehold on him. Get that sleeper hold on him. Got to weaken him. Take his breath. Take his strength. And take all the power out of his legs. Boa worked this to perfection. After working the giant's legs for a long time, he puts on a nice knee bar. He's got a heel hook going. Oh, just beautiful wrestling. All kinds of excitement with those submission holds. I'm loving Jason Boa. As commentary told us, he's a bit of a legend around the Maritime area, and I'm so surprised I don't know of his work before, but I'm very, very interested to see more. Same with the Giant Orion, but Boa really stood out for me in this. What an excellent talent.
And speaking of the Giant Orion, it looks like that on Saturday, April the 4th. Geez, man, I'm bad with my months. I'm going to get cooked here. Saturday, April the 4th, it's going to be August taking on the Giant Orion, and he's planning to take him down. There you go. There's your advertisement for the big show coming up on April the 4th. Yeah, man.
All right.
A lot of good wrestling on that Saturday, April 4th, folks. That I'm looking forward to. Obviously, our friends over at IPW. But during that time that we were chatting as well, Kill Count Gaming joined the chat for the very first time. Thank you for being here tonight as well, too. And of course, we got Sharky saying that Jason Boa is worth about $3 million with that, $3 million Canadian with that physique. And Matty Cat mentioned that it was a hard hitting bout. It very much was, definitely match of the night, but only by a bit, Papa Smokes. And we're going to be talking about that main event momentarily. We've got someone else here in the chat. Famine, the Hollow King, IPW Final Frost. The first seal has revealed the hunger of the world.
Okay.
All right. Famine, the Hollow King joining here tonight. Love it. Welcome to the show.
Famine was certainly hungry in his match. He was biting everybody all over the place.
That's right. It was quite the feast up in IPW Final Frost there. But yeah, before we talk about the main event, Pop Smokes, I've got a promise. I wanted to talk a little bit about camera operation in indie pro wrestling. Again, for anybody who's looking to get into doing camera operating for indie pro wrestling shows, it's not an easy gig. I've been doing it for almost 9 years now. Papa Smokes is just right behind me a little bit on that one. Probably coming up on your 8th year now, Papa Smokes, I would say, operating a camera or so. But like we've been doing it a long time, and not everything goes perfectly. There's a lot of points where camera operators in indie wrestling, and I'm not singling out this show. This is actually just, I want to be able to give some of my knowledge back to some of the listeners as well too, and anybody who's looking to get those opportunities. But you get in there and make sure a couple things. You always want to make wrestlers look big, right? Like you want to get that kind of, like we've talked about it before, Papa Spokes, that angle where you're angling up to kind of give the presence that the wrestlers are these, the larger than life people. A lot of the times you want to get those shots, especially when they're coming down the aisle and everything like that, because it makes them look larger than life. One thing to note as well too is headroom. Again, when you've got too much room up above, it is always great. You want to get a little bit closer, get the feel, because you want the story told, the emotions coming from the faces of the wrestlers. You want to be able to get right in there. And the other thing is, don't always follow the action. Stillness can be your absolute best friend. When you're angling cameras and stuff like this, and I'm going to use it on the phone for an example, you can stay in position like this to get that shot. You don't always need to follow the move necessarily, right? If someone's coming off the top ropes, you don't necessarily want to go and pull that down, because you're not necessarily offering the best shot in that transition of the angle of the camera. So sometimes stillness is your best friend. Make sure that you position yourself in the exact right position to make these wrestlers look like stars all the time. And this is, again, like I'm saying, this goes for all indie wrestling, anybody who's ever interested in getting into it. These are just a few helpful tips that maybe can help you along on your path as well too. And I know, Papa Smokes, you've had quite the journey joining me in Prairie Pro Wrestling as we've done this over the years, and not everything goes perfect. Famine 1-on-1, I am not hunger, I am what remains when hunger wins. And oof. IPW, grab a pen and write this down. Again, yeah, I'm just offering up my help as well too, to say, like, you want the wrestlers to look like stars, and that's the best way that I can try to offer up the help with those angles and those, staying still moments to really capture the moment, really get in there and sell the show. It's your job to help sell the show as well too. Make sure that you're getting the best possible angle to show that pain on the face of the person that's going through it, to show the determination of the baby face that fights back from underneath. These are the kinds of things you want to capture in those moments you capture. It's not always going to go perfect. And again, sometimes you just have to shake it off and move on to the next one, and you'll get better with time. So never get discouraged. And always, hey, I'm going to put my socials up at the end. Reach out to me if you're interested. I'm always open to talk. If you want to talk about wrestling videography, I've been doing it again for 9 years now. Always happy to chat. And hopefully I've shared anything of good use to you tonight. And Bob Spokes, if you want to share any of your thoughts as well too.
Sure. The only thing I can add to that really is that the main thing I had to learn was composition, basically, because you have to memorize your position as a cameraman outside the ring. When you take a shot of a wrestling match in a wrestling ring, you want to make sure that the composition of the shot shows the mat, so that when the inevitable contact with the mat hits, you get that impact. So align your shot, frame your shot with the bottom of the mat so that you're always going to get that impact. Then you've got to adjust to get the rest of the wrestlers' bodies and heads and faces in the shot. But for composition, always, it's not going to work for every single spot, but try and keep that bottom of the mat in there so that you don't miss the good hard impacts of the moves.
Yeah, exactly. Great advice, Pop Smokes. And again, like I said, you can always reach out. Happy to chat about it at any point in time. And from there, we go back to the show. We go to the main event of the evening. And because this is a 30-minute Ironwoman match, it is for all the falls.
All the falls.
There we go. We got that one right. They had a little bit more fun with it on the ring announcing there with that one. It was one fall mentioned because, hey, why not? We want to hear that audience say one fall one more time, but all the falls got in there afterward. It was great. This matchup, again, like I said, my second favorite matchup on the card. And again, they were very close. And I'm going to be nitpicky here and say that the only reason the other one was a little bit more to my flavor is I like a submission specialist. And with Jason Boa in that one, I found that I liked it that touch more, but take nothing away from these ladies, man. Bob spoke. We talked about them very highly about having the match of the night last time out. The Vandal Chantal taking on the Heartbreaker, Ronnie Payne. Again, last time they went to a no contest. This time it's an Ironwoman matchup, 30 minutes. They have to go and find a winner this time, right? You would think that there's no way that this one could go a full 30 minutes. Well, I started to doubt myself partway through this thing as this one went on. We got to a point when we only had 17 minutes left in the matchup. There was not a single fall at this point. These ladies were putting on a fantastic wrestling matchup with each other, and I'm talking wrestling matchup. The wrestling inside the ring was spot on, absolutely dynamite. Man, we got more people in the house here. Jay Sam's joining us for the very first time. IPW, baby. Yeah. So they do a great job wrestling back and forth, and surprisingly, it goes the first fall over to Ronnie Payne with a tap out on Chantal, and that one kind of shocked me. That threw me. I was like surprised at that choice, but it was great to see. Now she's got the advantage, but they go back into things, and now Chantal gets back into the swing of things. A couple minutes later, picks up a pinfall victory over Ronnie Payne. We're at 1-1. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, 15 minutes left in this thing. These ladies are going to find themselves fighting to an absolute draw at the end. And we get all the way to the end, and yeah, the timer is running out. It's coming to an end. There's no way that there's going to be any victor here. And all of a sudden, Chantal throws Ronnie Payne out of the ring. And I got to ask you, Island Pro, because I just wasn't sure. Is this a rule that's stated or whatever, where if the match is tied going into the end and there's someone inside the ring but someone outside, because that's what it declared. The Chantal ended up winning this matchup by having Ronnie Payne on the outside of the ring, the timer running out, Vandal Chantal still in the ring, and that's how it ended. So I just want to know if that's a stated rule. It was a different type of finish, and I'm not knocking it at all. I actually really liked this finish. I thought it was very interesting because yes, it gives the Vandal Chantal a victory here, but she didn't really earn it without that stipulation at the same time. So it really leaves that question in the back of Ronnie Payne's mind. Could I take this the whole thing, right? Like Ronnie Payne has to be thinking to herself, on my better day, I've got the Vandal beat kind of thing. And it was great to see. Where's the demon division? Yeah, no, we're talking ladies division.
It was in the first match.
Yeah. There was a delay on the live stream, so the clock ran out early. Last person in the ring was the winner at the end. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, things happen, of course, and I thought it was an interesting way of doing it, too. I thought that maybe I missed a rule being stipulated, and I hadn't seen something like that before. So when it happened, I'm like, awesome, because you kind of keep both fighters protected in a way. Ronnie Payne doesn't look bad in this loss. In fact, she took that first fall by tap out at the same time. So there's a massive highlight for her there. And of course, the Vandal has been the one rocking this women's division for IPW for some time now. And she ends up coming out victorious, but only barely. This was another excellent matchup on this card. In fact, this whole card, as good as everything is on this card, Papa Spoke, these two matches alone, if anybody is going to take the time, and again, in the chat, I do have the link to these things. Go check these two matches out. Hell, go check them all out and support our friends at IPW. But Papa Spoke, your thoughts on the main event with these ladies?
Yeah, pretty cool main event. I liked this whole concept that they needed to get everything sorted out between these two women. They've got a long past against each other and as rivals and enemies. So an Ironwoman match with a 30-minute time limit as the main event of an IPW show. Oh, hell yeah, I'm into that. So this was cool. You could see that these two have wrestled each other a bunch before and possibly trained together, even though they kept the fire of rivals. As you mentioned, this started for the first long while, 7-8 minutes maybe, as a wrestling match. I mean, Ronnie Payne, she worked that headlock for the first few minutes, looked awesome, looked like such good old school wrestling. It was all about the headlock. There was an attempted escape, then there was some running of the ropes, then there was the hold broken, and back to the headlock, back to the headlock. Love that as an old school wrestling fan. Absolutely love it. Then when they shifted away from the headlock, it was to the hammerlock, right? Like wrestling fundamentals, where this is how these women learned and how a lot of wrestlers learn at the very beginning is with the fundamentals, the simple but effective holds and the escapes and the reversals and all that kind of stuff. These two, yes, just as our commenter here says, it was a nice clinic of wrestling at the very beginning for a long first bit of this match. Of course, at 13 minutes, the first fall happens, the tap out to the STF. Then there was a modified suplex a couple minutes later where Chantal gets the pinfall over Ronnie. Now they're starting to brawl. Now the wrestling match is going to break down after this, and it's going to start into a little bit of a brawl. There's a what some of the big companies call a package pile driver. I like these guys' name for it better, the stump puller pile driver. Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
Talk about old school. There's a hold called the stump puller, but I never heard a pile driver being called that before. Very cool. Like that a whole bunch. With 8 minutes left and the falls tied 1-1, it was looking pretty close. With 3 minutes left, they started to look like they were really gassed. Both girls were down for a long time in the ring. Wasn't sure completely what was going on at first. I almost wondered if somebody was legitimately hurt for a bit there. Wasn't too sure about that. They were down for a long time. Then in the final minute of the match, they go to the outside. Now I'm really confused because this is an Ironwoman match. You need to get those falls. You can't get the falls outside the ring. So throwing your opponent outside the ring was confusing to me. But when now that we know what was going on, there was a time constraint kind of thing. They maybe changed the whole finish of the match or maybe modified it a little bit. But I wondered what the crowd thought of this finish. It's not a typical wrestling finish, but I still think that this finish, by referee's decision in a certain way, it makes sense psychologically in a wrestling match. You're not going to have an Iron Woman match be tied at the end. I mean, that's a complete bummer. There's no way that's going to happen. There's got to be a winner in this match. So if one wrestler is outside the ring and can't get back in, and one wrestler is in the ring, then I think it works psychologically along with the rules of professional wrestling that the ref might just call it, hey, somebody couldn't get back into the ring, someone is in the ring, that's going to count as a fall, and that turned out to be the deciding fall. Like you explained, it doesn't put either wrestler over so much, and it doesn't bury either wrestler either. So it kind of leaves the door open for this feud to continue. Has the Iron Man match finished tensions between these two? I don't think so. No, with a finish like that, I think they've still got something to clear up here. So let's watch in the coming months. Are we going to see these two have a battle again? I would welcome this, and I would gladly watch another match between these two lady wrestlers. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah. As Jay saw him saying, first time ever having an Iron Woman matchup in the
There you go.
Maritimes. So again, you got to
There you
hold that
go.
proud. That's fantastic. And of
Yeah.
course, over here, Jason's also mentioning that the women's division of IPW is really heating up. Ava Lawless, Ronnie Payne, Salem Wilder, Chantal, Danny Leo, and Stormy Hale. Man, you guys got a rockin' roster over there. Absolutely
Yes.
dynamite. And again,
Yes.
our friends over at Island Pro Wrestling say very proud of the IPW women's division. Looking forward to season too. We are as well too. Can't wait to talk about more of the Island Pro stuff here on the channel. Overall, great show. I really encourage people to go check it out. Go and subscribe to Island Pro Wrestling over on YouTube. It only takes you a second. Go over there, show them some love, tell them the Video Bros sent you, and thank you to everybody in the chat here tonight, all the new chatters that were brought in here clearly because of Island Pro Wrestling. We really appreciate you all and hope that you'll join us for more episodes of Ring Respect Radio in the future as well too. But Papa Smokes, your final thoughts on this particular card?
Well, the IPW we've watched a few of their shows, a handful, 3 or 4 shows. To me, it's improved during that time. It was good in the first place, but it's improving. And I would say to anyone out there that's a pro wrestling fan, but particularly if you're a Canadian pro wrestling fan, check this out because we've got good indie wrestling right in our backyard. I mean, I say in our backyard. Canada's a big country, and they are many thousands of miles away from us, but still in our country, in our backyard, in the tiny geographical province of PEI, some very vibrant wrestling going on there. IPW, a good, strong indie company, putting on some great action and putting it on YouTube for people to watch for free. So get on there and watch some and see if you like it, because I think you will. They got an awesome roster. They're bringing in talent from other places in Canada and the US. Plus, you can see that there's some homegrown talent there as well. Maritime talent. I'm interested in this. I want to see more of this. And just a great salute out from some Canadian wrestling people out here in Saskatchewan to our brothers and sisters out in the Maritimes. Thank you for the great work you're doing, and we love it. We're going to continue to watch, pay attention, and hopefully review more on this podcast.
You bet. As Island Pro Wrestling say, we all Canadian. Yes, we are.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so. But we are getting to the end of the show here, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the most expensive ticker in all of podcasting on the screen. It's the Pop Smokes ticker, and he's going to tell you where you can reach out to him, what he's got coming up.
All right, everybody. Every week I'm here on Ring Respect Radio on Thursday evenings, hosted by OLE Podcasts and the Video Bros Network. Other than that, I can be found on Elon Musk's free speech wonderland known as X. I am at smokes_papa, and also allegedly on Twitch at papa_smokes_. And I say allegedly because people can't seem to find me on there. I don't have a lot of followers on Twitch. Maybe that's why.
It could be the case, but maybe you could find Papa Smokes on there. As for myself, Bobby Munson, my credentials are rolling across the screen right now. You can find me on all social media, so check that out. Reach out to me again if you're getting into indie wrestling, you're getting into doing the camera operations. Reach out to me. I'm happy to share my experiences with each and every one of you. If you want to find more of me here, you can. In fact, I'm going to be back here on the channel Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on the East Coast. It is Point of View, our sports review show here, Papa Smokes. We're going to be talking all about the week in sports with myself and Andre C. You could also couch myself and Papa Smokes as part of the commentary team for Prairie Pro Wrestling. Yes, you can go check out Prairie Pro Wrestling over on YouTube, where we release a new match every single Saturday from our vaults. Last Saturday, Papa Smokes, the massive first time ever cage match in Prairie Pro Wrestling. Hellacious, bloody, violent. I can't believe that the YouTube censors let us put it there, but it is there for your enjoyment over at Prairie Pro Wrestling. Would love to see you over there as well, too. And if you'd had any enjoyment here tonight, we are broadcasting on OLE Podcast. You can find us on all social media as well as YouTube and Twitch, where we are a YouTube and Twitch partner. So yes, super chats are welcome. Super stickers are welcome. But you can also follow, subscribe, do all those nice things to help support us here on the channel. We got a lot of great content from a lot of great creators, bringing you a lot of great stuff in the world of professional wrestling, movies, music, all that jam in the world of pop culture. So yes, tune in to the other shows that we've got here for you. And to everybody who joined us tonight, and even the new ones that came in at the last second, IPW Nation, IBW is the best. Yes, we got some great comments coming in here. Maddie, thank you for being here tonight. I know that the Mangler gave us a shout out here. Thank you as well, Mangler. Yeah. Brett Martinez was here tonight. Everybody who joined us, Island Pro Wrestling, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We hope to have you all back here again, where next week we're going to be talking with our friend Ed Fries, and we're going to be reviewing Chaotic Wrestling's Cold Fury. Come check that out next Thursday night here on the channel. In the meantime and in between time, take care, and we'll see you in a week's time.